that's the other lady. Giselle, how do you pronounce your name?
Guzel.
Guzel?
Yes.
And you're in Italy?
Yeah, I'm in Italy. I'm
Ah,
in Italy. Yes, I'm in Italy, but here, like in Iceland now. So cool.
will you be joining us in Iceland?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Ah, very good.
Yeah.
All right, so can everybody see my screen right now?
It says flash sale, 50% to
Yes. Okay.
$50.
So the topics we're going to discuss today was we're going to talk first of all about your NCL account and then the NCL app that you need to have on your mobile phones. And we're going to talk about the shareholder benefits. As ATS is a financial wealth management company, this is not a recommendation to buy the stock, so I always have to throw out that disclaimer there. Then we're going to talk about the NCL credit card because you'll probably be getting emails about that. And then we're going to talk about the most important thing is because we're leaving the cruise in the United Kingdom, you're going to have a visa to go to England starting a couple of days ago. So we'll talk about that briefly, and then we're going to talk about the air program with NCL because most of you have that booked, or talking about using the airfare on your own. So, any questions so far?
No questions from us.
Okay, so here we are. If you go to this URL, ncl.com, it'll bring you to this page here, which is the home page for NCL. And if you're not registered, you click on this link here where it says register, and then it's going to bring you over to this page here, which is create a new account. And in that create a new account, you're going to put in your first name, your last name, your date of birth. Um, if you've sailed with NCL before, you already have a latitudes number. You also have a latitudes number now if you've never sailed with NCL before. Um, so you are a member of the latitudes program. You can click on yes. And if you need the latitudes number, you can either call myself or Guzel on the telephone, which we've included our phone numbers and email contacts in the invite that you received for this meeting, which we will be having every Friday until the end of February. And then, are you currently working with a travel agent outside of NCL? That would be yes, because that's who we are. And then if you tick the box, I want to receive email marketing communications, you need to tick that box because NCL will be sending you information about your particular cruise. Now, if you've already got an account with NCL, or after you fill this out when you create an account, you'll be able to go over to the login page, which is right here at the bottom, or if you're on the home page here where it says login right here, it'll take you to this link here where you log in. And when you log in, you'll put in your email address, your password, and I always encourage you to tick the box to stay logged in. And then if you click on log in, it'll actually bring you into the NCL account. Now, most importantly, you need to have an account for each person that's in the cabin because this is how you're going to make dining reservations, how you're going to check in for the cruise, upload your passport information, any of that information about your cruise. So as you can see here, it'll give you the reservation at a glance. It'll tell you your cabin number, the sailing date, all the information about your cruise. And this is where you can go ahead and where it says explore and plan. And we'll go over more of this in detail in the upcoming calls when we talk about shore excursions. But when you go into the explore and plan, this shows you where all the dining information is, the internet packages, so forth and so on. After you make your final payment in March, there will be offers that will be sent to you for upgrading your cabin, upgrading the internet, booking spa appointments, and all of that. But in the meantime, you can explore through here. You can book shore excursions now. Guzel and I are working on some shore excursions in Iceland and Norway that we'll be talking about in the next 2 weeks. Next week, we're going to be focusing on the pre and the post tours that we're doing in Iceland and in the UK. And then the following week, we'll start talking about these shore excursions. But in the meantime, you can look at the shore excursions here. And if you want more details about that shore excursion, you just click the more details button. And you can actually bookmark these and save them for future. If you add these to your shopping cart, you need to pay for them right away. And there's refundability regarding the shore excursions, and it'll explain that in the details, how late you can refund it or if it's non-refundable. So that's basically what you need to do now. How many people here on the call have already registered with NCL? I think Jim and Karen, aren't you registered because you went on the cruise with us to Alaska?
Yes, we're registered,
Yeah.
but we only
Okay.
have one account. Do we have to get one for each of us then, you said?
Yes, it's suggested to do that. I know you and Karen are on one account, but you should really have two separate accounts, especially with the new app that they have with NCL. The new app allows you to book different excursions or activities. So if you and Karen aren't doing something together, when you both have the app, you can arrange things separately.
Okay, well, we always do everything together, but
Yeah.
we'll get a second account if you recommend it.
Right, right. Okay. So then, just some information about the mobile app, and I'll include all of these in my summary email, so you will have these links if you forget how to get to these places. But I just wanted to show them to you today. And NCL came out with a new mobile app, and the new mobile app allows you to check in online, upload your documents, make reservations, and that's, Jim, why you and Karen need to have um, separate accounts because you have to check in individually now.
Okay.
And then during the cruise, you can go and check out the menus at the restaurants. See the daily onboard newsletter, get information about the ship, personalize your schedule. So there's a lot of things that we can do with the app, which we can show you later. And they have it available for the Apple Store and on Google Play for Android phones. So moving right along to our next topic, because I told you we're going to try to limit these calls to just 30 minutes and then have Q&A afterwards. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, does anybody have any questions about the three topics we've talked about so far?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, perfect.
Good. Well, I'm good.
All right. Then we're going to talk about the shareholder benefits. If you own 100 shares of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, you're entitled, but you have to go to the shareholder benefits once you have your stock. You have to register. You can get up to $250 of onboard credit on any NCL cruise, any Oceania cruise, or any Regent Seven Seas cruise. Those are the three brands that are owned by Norwegian Cruise Line. So once you have your 100 shares of stock, you can go back to this website where it says shareholder benefits, and you just click to submit your shareholder benefit request. They'll just ask you to prove that you own the 100 shares of NCL. And a lot of people that were on our cruise to Greece and the cruise last year to Alaska took advantage of this. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you, you're going to get, once you register, you're going to start getting offers from NCL. One of the offers with what a lot of people did with NCL last year is they signed up for the Norwegian Cruise Line credit card. The credit card, um, if you get it early enough, you'd be able to make your final payment with the Norwegian Cruise Line credit card, but you do get upwards to $300 of onboard credit by spending $2,000 with the credit card. It does change. Each offer changes from time to time, so you'll have to double check with what that current offer is. I don't know if I have an offer here that was in my email. Yeah, so I had an offer before where you got a $300 onboard credit. This of course is not valid right now, but this is just one of the emails that I got from NCL. And you had to spend for this one you had to spend $2,000 in order to be eligible for this particular offer. So look in your email because you'll get that with Norwegian Cruise Line. And it's pretty nice to be able to get a $300 onboard credit because you can pay for a lot of things on the ship with that, especially spa treatment, shore excursions, and whatnot. Okay, and now we'll move along to the next very, very important thing. I'm going to send you this link here. As you can see, it's pretty long. Can everybody see the gov.uk on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. There, if you Google or use your Safari browser or Microsoft Bing, there are a billion, I wouldn't want to exaggerate, say billion, but there's hundreds of fake websites right now that are scamming people to get their UK visa through these links. There's only one official website that you can use to get your UK visa, and this is what the home page looks like right here. You're going to have your passport available. You're going to have the app downloaded to your phone. And each person needs to have the app on their phone. So Jim and Karen, you're going to have an app on Karen's phone. You're going to have the app on your phone because you have to upload your passport information and take your photo and pay the £10 fee for the UK. And all the instructions are on this page here. But to make it easy for you, the easiest way to apply is to get the app on your phone. And if you have your phones handy, if you just go and snap a photo of this QR code, as long as you have a US passport, you'll be able to use this QR code here to download the app on Google Play or on the App Store. And once you pay the fee, I think they said this is good for 2 years or 3 years. I forgot which. I'd have to go back and look. But that's how that particular program works with the application for the UK app. Any questions on that so far?
So if you take a picture of that QR code, then you don't have to send your pictures of your passport and everything. Pardon me.
Well, no, what it'll do, Jim, is it'll actually put the app on your telephone, and then you can open up the app and then just follow the step-by-step instructions on how to fill out the form, because it'll ask you for your name, your birth date, your passport number, the expiration date, the date it was issued. It's going to have you hold the camera up to your face and take a selfie, and then it's going to take you to a credit card screen where you put in your credit card information.
Mike, real quick question. I
Yeah.
tried doing this a couple of weeks ago and it wouldn't accept my passport information. Should I delete all of the stuff that I tried to do and just start right from scratch from the very
Yeah.
beginning?
Were you using the app?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah,
because
I would, yeah, delete
it
everything.
didn't, I couldn't make it, it wouldn't accept my passport.
Oh,
It wouldn't take the picture.
oh,
So,
okay.
so I'll delete the entire thing and then use the QR code I just took a picture of and start over.
Yeah, start
Mike,
over. Yeah.
Okay.
this is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I applied, I got it, and it wouldn't read the little funny thing on my passport, but there is an other option that you can go in and enter your passport number.
Uh-huh.
And so there's two ways to do it, but you have to say, I can't get the app to take my picture or to find my passport.
Oh, okay. Good.
It's
Good to
it's
know.
weird, but it works.
Yeah.
And I think it said on it that the visa was good for, like you said, about 2 years until you renew your passport, and then you have to do it again.
Oh, okay. So
Which
it's
makes
only
sense.
valid, it's valid for 2 years, or if your passport expires a year from now, it won't be valid. You'd have to reapply, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm not sure about the 2 years absolutely, but I know it did say that about the renewing the passport thing.
Yeah.
That would make
Yeah,
sense.
I think it is for 2 years because I know my passport still has about another 7 years on it before it expires. Um, but I know some of you have passports, and that's one important thing about taking the cruise is that your passport has to be valid 6 months beyond the date we get off the ship in London. So
Yeah.
please double check and make sure about that. And then also, if you're a foreigner, you're going to have to go through all kinds of hoops to apply for visas. Uh, and Guzel can also share her experiences with that because she did this exact same cruise as myself 2 years ago, or what was 3 years ago now, Guzel?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from my passport is Russian, so I have to do it visa everywhere.
Ugh.
And I can tell from my experience that UK government is a most easy applying for visa. So that is really like easy to do, easy steps, easy to apply, and they are really quick to look and to give uh, a resolution. So that is easy one. And yeah, for the foreigners, I would like to, if there is some questions, will be, so you can call me and I can tell you exactly what to do, how to do it. Yeah.
But with our US citizenship, the UK is the only country where we need a visa for.
Yes.
Now also for Europe.
Oh, did they
So,
start that yet for Europe? Because I know they talked about doing that, but they haven't implemented it yet. But I know it's coming. So we will
so
Do you
need to
think
have
we'll
a
have to
visa
have
for
it?
you.
Do you think we'll have to have the EU visa before we go on this cruise?
Possibly, yes, because from what I've heard, talking to people, and Guzel could verify this, there was talk about this starting to be required for travel in Europe in May, starting
Yeah,
this
I
coming
think I
May.
read that. Yeah.
Yeah. But they haven't officially launched the website because, see, with the UK, it's real easy. You've got the king and parliament can make the decision real quick. And the US in the EU, how many countries are in the EU, Guzel? There's like what, 20, 10, 15, something like that. So you got all these different people having to make a decision, you know. It'd be like if the five of us right now wanted to decide where we're going to go to lunch today, we'd all have a different opinion.
Hey, Mike,
So
I have a quick.
in May we
If
might have to do that lickety split.
yeah, so we'll find out. So it will
But
be one of those things. Yes, Gazelle.
yeah, but anyway, it will be electronically applied, so there is will be not so much to do.
Yeah. And that QR code that I included, that you guys all snapped a picture of, and it will be on our recording, that is only good for US citizens. I didn't do it for any other foreigners. I only did it for the UK entry for US citizens because the majority of the people on our cruise are from the United States.
Hey, Mike, I have a quick question.
Sure, Jim.
A while back, I looked at this application for this visa for England, and just a preliminary glance at it. And one of the questions was, when are you arriving and when are you leaving in England? They want to know the dates you're going to be there.
Yeah, well, the date you're going to be arriving will be the date that the cruise ship docks in Southampton.
Right. And then, but we don't leave for 2 days afterwards.
Yeah, you don't leave for 2 days afterwards. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is the air program with NCL. So
Okay.
that's going to have an important bearing on because I know some of the people I talked to, Elaine, she's going to join us for 3 days afterwards in London, and then she's going to go on to Paris to go to Notre Dame. And some of the other people in our group have mentioned that they'd like to go to Paris. So those are things that we can talk about at our next meeting.
What if we
I
don't
have a-
have an exact departure date from UK? Is that going to be an issue when we fill this visa out?
No, it's not. They just want to track your whereabouts.
Yeah.
The reason that they're starting this is to be able to track people, frequenting Europe and not staying too long. But
Yeah, it can be approximate date. So it can be anyway, the visa is for 2 years. So if you put the dates, for example, you're arriving exactly, we're arriving a 3rd of the August, so it can be 1 week staying there, maybe like
Right.
can be put there. So there is no big deal to make it exactly, because
Okay.
it can be anyhow when to go to the airport, it will be already stamped that you are leaving the.
yeah, you're leaving the country, right?
So
Yeah.
I have a slightly different question.
Sure, Sarah.
I'm going to be traveling with somebody to London and then Scotland and Ireland in September.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I got into applying for the ETA already.
Right.
So then do I have to go back and figure out how to tell them that I'm also going to be there from the 3rd of August through whenever?
That I would not know. I can try to find out. Maybe look at the frequently. If you go to the UK website there where you apply for that, there might be something in the frequently asked questions that you might have to go back in and change the date, but I'm not sure. Guzel, do you know?
Yeah, when you fill out the form, there is a place where it needs to be written, what are you going to do there? What is your plan? So they possibly to say, okay, I am staying from this date to this date. I'm staying in London. Then next time I'm coming those days and I'm going to go to the Dublin and Scotland and so on. So that is possible to write there.
So I'd have to go find out how to update it because I've already got the ETA approval.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I have to think about getting the second set of dates in there somehow.
right.
Yeah, but I mean, that is for 2 years, it's already multiple entry. So it won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's multiple entry. Once you have the visa approved, it's multiple entry. And as well, not only is it good for 2 years, but the maximum amount of time that they allow you to stay in the United Kingdom is 6 months as a tourist. Whereas when you go to Europe, the maximum amount of time we can stay as a U.S. citizen is only 90 days.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, what a difference from when I was a teen and in my early 20s. I spent a year in Europe.
Oh,
No
wow.
one tracked me.
Wow. That's great. That's awesome. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So any other questions about topics we're covering so far? Because I can go into the last topic. And now, yeah, Jim?
I'm just going to say I have no question.
Okay, perfect. The last thing is the airfare program with NCL. As you know, for those of you who went with us to Alaska, it was pretty straightforward because there were a lot of nonstop flights from all the gateways everybody was flying from to go to Europe. And I mean, going to Seattle. So most of us were on nonstop flights from San Diego, LA, Chicago, Boston, wherever people were coming from to get to Seattle. And the other thing that we don't know what the airfare is going to be, what airline you're flying on, what routing you're going to take, or anything like that until approximately 30 days before we fly.
Oh,
And
wow.
and
Wow.
if you're not in a cabin with other passengers, um, the everybody in the same cabin, like Jim and Karen will fly together. But let's say myself, and let's say I brought my kids with me on the cruise, and they're coming with me from San Diego, and they're in a different cabin. Possibly we could be on separate flights. So I'm going to talk about the negatives about the NCL airfare. So negative number one is you don't know what airline you're going to travel on, and you don't know what the routing is that you're going to be flying on. Secondly, with NCL, the maximum number of stopovers that you can have connections to get to Europe from your point of origin is a maximum of two. And even if you don't have a maximum of two, the layover can be up to 5 hours. Okay, 5 hours sounds like a lot of time when you're flying somewhere, but in this day and age, when flights are so late and delayed and so forth and whatnot, it's basically goes by fast when you're at the airport. But when you have a double connection, you're not going to have a 5 hour layover. You might have 2 hours in Vancouver, and then you might end up with another 2 hour layover in Finland before you go to Iceland. So I just want to point that out to people because when we went to Europe last year with the ATS Greek cruise, a lot of people were very, very upset about their flight schedules. I got lucky. I got a nonstop flight from San Diego to Munich and then a connection from Munich to Venice. So that was real easy. But we had people in our group that had two connections. Okay. So they had to fly two places before they got to Venice. And coming back from Athens, they had to go to two places before they came back to their point of origin.
Are
So
you
those are the
suggesting,
negatives. The
are you,
positives are this. You're trading off for all of these inconveniences for a really,
Price.
really low airfare. I mean, my God, the airfare is so cheap. When you buy one and get one free, even the published price that they have for the first passenger is a lot less than buying an airline ticket. Because as Guzel has been working with some of our other sailors that are going on this cruise with us, the airfare is very, very expensive. So you're going to give up
2000,
a little.
2500 for round trip.
2,500. Yeah, round trip to go to Iceland and come back. And I think most of you are paying around 1,300 right now. So that's one advantage is you're getting a really low airfare. Number two is that it is restrictive. The maximum you can go before the cruise starts is 2 days. The maximum you can stay after the cruise is 2 days. So when we went to Venice, a lot of people spent the 2 nights in Venice and spent the 2 nights in Athens at the end of the cruise and took advantage of the air program. Now, here's a real big bonus about the air program. If you have two people that are traveling from two different destinations, let's say I have a companion in my cabin, they're flying from Boston and I'm flying from San Diego. We can do the 2-for-1 airfare. Someone can fly from Boston, the other person can fly from San Diego. The other advantage to the 2-for-1 airfare is, let's say one person wants to take the airline ticket. Excuse me, let me back up there a second. So one of the advantages of flying in 2 days before is you can book this airfare only one way. So you could book it one way to fly on the special with NCL, and it would be 50% off. If you're traveling as a solo in a solo cabin, which we have quite a few people traveling solo on this trip, you get the 2-for-1 airfare. They knock 50% off the price. So you can go in 2 days before, stay 2 days after, or you can fly in directly the day of the cruise and stay 2 days after the cruise. You have a lot of flexibility. So you can go up to 2 days before, one day before, the day of. So these are all the options that you can do. And if you need explanations about how the NCL air program works, I invite you to either send me an email or give me a phone call. But what we've basically done for all the people on this cruise is we've done two things. We've added the insurance for you. So if you had any pre-existing conditions, you're covered. The insurance with NCL is relatively inexpensive, and filing claims is pretty easy to do. And you can cancel for any reason and get up to 75% future cruise credit to use within a year and take another NCL cruise. Of course, if it's for a medical reason, you would get 100% back in the form of a check that would come to you from the insurance company. So we highly recommend that everybody has the NCL insurance, which is on most everybody's confirmation right now, but that can also be removed before the cruise when you make the final payment. Same way with the air. We can add the air, make changes, and do anything to the air right now, but once we make final payment, you're locked in. But you're not going to find out what your air schedule is until approximately 30 days before we fly. Now, if you want to book air on your own, there's two options. Number one, you could book directly an airline ticket with United, British Airways, Air France, Icelandic, whoever you want, and book some discounted airfare. We can help you with that. We do have a service fee when we do help people with airline tickets because unfortunately, back in, I think it was 1998 or something like that, the airline stopped paying travel agents commissions on booking airline tickets. So we just have to charge a fee for our service. And we collect the money up front for the service fee because we're giving you advice. It's kind of like the guy coming over and he said, "Oh, my ice maker's not working." He says, "Well, I'll charge you $50 to tell you what's wrong with it." And so
Yeah.
so he tells you it's going to cost you $2,000 to replace the ice maker on your refrigerator. He's like, "No, I'll just go and buy another one." So that's basically how the air works. I know a lot of insider tips on air. There's a lot of low-cost carriers that fly to Europe, like French Bee that flies to Paris. You've got Norse Atlantic that flies all over Europe that has discounted airfares. And there's also a lot of special deals. Uh, the other
With
way
that,
about the air is we have a program with United Airlines that you can do a hotel and airfare and get discounts on the airfare. We also have what we call a throwaway airfare. A throwaway airfare is, as Guzel and I work with a client, she's taking herself and her three kids, and they're going to Santorini for vacation, and they're flying home from Crete. And we were able to work with a wholesaler that we work with. They have a throwaway package where all you have to do is book one night at a hotel. So she's staying at a hotel in Crete that's about $1,000 a night, but we found her a throwaway hotel that was about $100, and she's never even going to check into that hotel or stay there. But she is utilizing this throwaway hotel to get a huge discount on her airline tickets with Lufthansa to fly to Santorini and to fly home from Crete. So we've got all of these angles to save you money on airline tickets. And the third
there is
way,
also,
yeah, any
mm,
questions? No?
no
Okay.
questions. I'm telling like because there is also now I'm working with the clients that go also for London, but later at September, and there is also so many deals with Delta Airlines, also with the hotel that can be together. So if you are thinking to buy some other tickets, so we can help with that to
Yeah,
find it better.
basically the way that the airline ticket program works with us, as you know, Guzel and I work for Frosh Travel, which is owned by JP Morgan Chase. What we usually do is we collect an upfront fee of $50 per person that's traveling, and that gets applied if there's any ticketing fees that Frost charges. That money would get applied to that. So for the ticketing fees. So we just want to let you know that if we give you some advice and you say, yeah, Mike, we'll go ahead and do that, that fee already covers what our company charges us to issue the tickets. And one of the advantages to have us issue the tickets is we have a 24-hour helpline that if you can't get a hold of Guzel or myself and your flight's delayed or canceled or there's a schedule change or whatever, we have a call center that handles people who are traveling. As you know, Frosh has a huge entertainment division that handles most of the Hollywood celebrities are handled by our air department at Frosh. So that's you got some good people in your back pocket to help you if there's a problem. And then the last way that we're going to talk about the airline ticketing is you can do with flyer miles. And if anyone's interested in getting a United Airlines Visa card, I can email you guys a link. There's a program with United that you can get upwards to 75,000 frequent flyer miles for spending $3,000 in a course of a 3-month period. You get these bonus miles to your account, and 75,000 bonus miles is enough for anywhere from 1 to 2 round-trip tickets to Europe, depending on what time of year you're traveling. So that's kind of one of the advantages. I personally like flying on United because there's a lot of extra benefits that they have for if you have the credit card to pay reduced miles from what's required. They give a discount. If you're a credit card holder, baggage can get checked for free. The other thing is upgrading to business class. You can do it right through the app. So if anybody's interested in that, I'll be shooting that out to you. And now we can open it up for anyone that has any other questions, because like I said, topics, we want to just cover these in 30 minutes, have a few minutes of questions and answers, and go on our merry way. Next week, we're going to be talking about the pre and the post cruise tours. So we'll have all the information. You'll be able to, we've got rooms blocked both in Reykjavik and in London for 3 nights. So if you're utilizing the NCL program, you can stay 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights. We're going to have some tours in those cities. You can see these icebergs behind me on this black sand beach. That's in Iceland, and that's one of the places that we're going to go visit on the south part of Iceland from Reykjavik. So we have a lot of these activities and things set up that we're going to be talking about. And Guzel and I are also working on some individual tours when we get to Norway, to Belgium, and to Amsterdam, and then also we'll have some things in the UK afterwards. So we're going to be talking about that next week on our call, which will be, today is the 17th, that will be on the 24th. So we'll be doing these calls every week until the 28th of February. In March is when your final payments are due, and then we're going to pick up the phone calls on a weekly basis in April. So
I have a question, Mike.
Yeah, Sarah?
I have a friend years ago who told me that in Bruges, there is a much better example of a Roman Colosseum.
Oh, really?
And I don't know where it is or anything about it, but he told me when he was traveling, he found it in Bruges, and it was wonderful.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know if that's something you might look and see if there's something there or
Yeah,
not.
Guzel, why don't we check and see if we can find something like that? Because that could be something that could be very interesting for us to do on the tour. One of the things that that we found when Guzel and I were there 2 years ago, when the ship called in Belgium, there was actually a shuttle bus that left and went directly nonstop to downtown Bruges, where we you could walk around. We walked around Bruges, and also were able to take the canal boat trip, which was really.
Yeah.
But that would be really cool to see something like a Colosseum like that.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about this, but I will check.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it either, so that would be interesting to see. I'll tell you, I loved Bruges. I don't know, Guzel, there was a lot of great places to buy chocolate there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yay, chocolate.
But it's a beautiful little town, I'll tell you that and Amsterdam, those were there's so many highlights on this cruise, and that's the other thing that I want to let you know. Um, For those of you that are on this call, if you refer somebody to take this cruise, we're going to be giving all of you have gotten some extra shipboard credits from us for joining this cruise during the promotion that we ran. But for referrals right now, what we're doing is if you refer anybody to us, I don't care whether they're taking this cruise or if they want to go on a future trip with us, book it with Guzel or with myself. We're going to be sending out, Sandeep's actually sending out an announcement on this over the weekend, but we're offering ATS clients and people who are friends of ours and clients of ours that anytime you give us a referral, we're going to give you a $200 future travel credit that you could use if you want to book something with Guzel or myself for the next trip. So let's say you're going to book with us the cruise. We still have space for the solar eclipse cruise for next year. In 2026 with Cunard. So if you refer somebody to us for this cruise, they're going to get a $100 shipboard credit. You're going to get a $200 travel credit. You could use that towards the cruise with Cunard. Or if you wanted to go to Egypt, or we have all kinds of travel specials out there. So any travel needs that you have, please get a hold of Guzel or myself. Just shoot us an email or give us a phone call. And that's about it. It's a wrap. It's 9:46, and we took 45 minutes today, so pretty good.
Hey, Mike, can I ask one quick question?
Yes, Jim?
Just one. If we use the NCL flight package, we can. It says 2 days before and 2 days after. Well, you were talking about 3 days in London, say, or 3 days in Reykjavik. Is that within that time frame for the NCL flight package?
Well,
That makes sense.
here's what a lot of people are doing, Jim, including myself. I'm going to take advantage of the discounted fare with NCL, and I'm just going to do a one-way ticket to Reykjavik and come in 2 days early. And then I'm going to get my own airfare to fly home from Europe at the end of the cruise when we're in London. But what I wanted to point out is we have a room block of three days before and 3 days after, because a lot of people are doing their own airfare because they really want to go and see a lot of things in Iceland before the cruise. So they're calling Guzel or myself directly and having us book the airfare
I
early.
will be there 3 days before, and I have people there that they are coming 3 days before, and we have a pre-cruise either for 3 days before or 2 days before. Will be two options.
Yeah, there's going to be two
Okay.
packages. The 3-night package will include going down here to where these icebergs are because it's an all-day trip. It's about a 12-hour trip in total because we're going to go to several of the waterfalls, go to where the glaciers are, go down here to Diamond Beach where these icebergs float out to the ocean. They wash up on the shore of this beautiful beach. And so that's going to be on the 3-day tour. On the 2-day tour, we're going to do the Golden Circle. But if you're on the 3-day tour, you'll be doing both South Coast and the Golden Circle. On the 2-night tour, you'd just be doing the Golden Circle.
And there is
Okay.
also really nice spa, nature spa in Iceland.
Oh yeah,
That is amazing one to stay.
right. Yeah, so we'll have an option to during that time to go to a place like the Blue Lagoon or which is in Reykjavik. There's also a couple of other hot spring type spas there. And then also I want to remind you that that time of the year doesn't get dark. The sun is up the whole time. So it's kind of the most unusual thing is that yeah, we could go to the spa at 12 o'clock at night. It'll still be daylight outside.
Wow.
Okay, well, thank you.
No northern lights.
No northern lights, yeah. Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for joining the call today, and we will say la vie, and we'll chat later. If anybody has questions, remember you not only can call me, but you could also call Guzel. So let me tell you this. If you're awake at 2 o'clock in the morning and you know I'm asleep, but you're just dying to ask somebody a question, call Guzel. She's awake at 2 in the morning because right now what time is it where you are right now, Guzel?
7 p.m.
It's 7 p.m. So if you're awake and have insomnia in the middle of the night or 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night and you want to reach out and talk to somebody about some travel plans or questions, call Guzel.
In email, there is my number.
Yes, right.
And is there a charge for us to call you since you're
No. She has a California phone number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have 5 phone numbers.
Yeah, she has 5 phone numbers.
For Europe, for America, for Russia, for other countries also.
Very good.
Yeah, so in the email for the invite for this Zoom call was not only my name, Guzel's name, but our email addresses and our direct phone numbers.
And can we text you if we don't want to call? Do you text? Yeah.
You'd have to text us through WhatsApp. Because those phone numbers that are on there, we do have a WhatsApp group for this Icelandic cruise. So you can always send a text through WhatsApp. Our contact information is in WhatsApp.
But for WhatsApp will be different number.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. No more questions?
Thank you, Mike.
No more questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Giselle. Thank you, Sarah, Connie, Jim, Karen. And we will see you next week.
We'll be there.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Wonderful day and wonderful week.
Thank you.
Yes, you too.
Thank
And
you,
the same
Giselle.
to you.
All right. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.